1 in 4 U.S. adults was diagnosed with the mental health condition in 2022, costing the country $1 trillion in lost productivity. These results are pretty staggering, and so we're continuing on with our series for Mental Health May, teaching you 3 of the best practices for your mental health. So let's jump right in. So today we're going to talk about emotional freedom technique, or EFT for short. Some people call it tapping, and it's the one that you've seen people tapping on their face. I'll link a video with a montage of where EFT has made it into the media. And so today we're going to take a case illustration. It's just one that I'm making up, and I'm going to take you through the practice of EFT. And one of the things that I love about EFT is that you can do it at home. I do recommend, especially if you're working with trauma, definitely if you're working with trauma, that you start your EFT practice with a licensed professional who's certified in clinical EFT. And then I'm sure you'll have homework and you can do tapping at home. You're not going to hurt yourself by doing tapping at home, and it's free. And so that's one of the biggest benefits of it. And to get the most benefit out of it, plus the support that you need, I really recommend that you start with a certified licensed professional. So drop in the comments if you've ever tried EFT. I'd love to hear, and I'd love to hear what your results were. So tapping, basically, you use your fingers and you're going to be tapping on what we call acupoints on your face, which are points along the meridian system of the body. Those are energy pathways. If you've ever heard of or had acupuncture, when the acupuncturist inserts the needles, he or she is inserting the needles along your meridians. And so you don't have to use needles, you can tap. So we're going to be tapping on specific points to shift the energy in the body. And while we're doing that, we're going to be combining it with a phrase. I call it the setup phrase. And so what we've seen in the research is that combining the tapping and the cognitive piece, the thinking piece, creates long-lasting change in a shorter amount of time. So the way it goes is you pick whatever it is that you want to work on. And so today I'm just going to choose getting fired from a job. This is just something that I'm making up. And so you come up with your setup phrase, and it goes something like this. Even though I got fired from my job, I completely love and accept myself. So the phrase is, even though blank, so it's even though I got fired from my job, even though my boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with me, even though I didn't get the new job, right? It's whatever it is you want to work on, even though I feel like a failure, even though I haven't lost 20 pounds, even though I feel like nobody likes me. And then it's combined with a phrase of acceptance. So even though I got fired from my job, I completely love and accept myself. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that phrase while we're rubbing this point right here. We're going to say it 3 times and it seals it in. So we say, even though I got fired from my job, and we're thinking about that emotion when we got fired from our job. I completely love and accept myself. Even though I got fired from my job, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I got fired from my job, I completely love and accept myself. And then we start tapping with the shortened phrase. So beginning of the eyebrow, I got fired from my job. Outside of the eye, I got fired from my job. Under the eye, I got fired from my job. Below the nose, I got fired from my job. Above the chin, I got fired from my job. Collarbone points, I got fired from my job. Under the arm, I got fired from my job. And this is called the karate chop. I got fired from my job. And then we do what's called the gamut, and it's rubbing on this point right here. It's called the triple warmer. And we're going to do some weird things with our eyes. We're going to close them. We're going to open them. We're going to look up right. We're going to look up left. We're going to look down right. We're going to look down left. We're going to circle our eyes in a circle, all the while we are tapping or rubbing, and then we're going to go the other way. It's kind of hard for me to do this and talk at the same time. And we're going to hum a little tune. Can be any tune. Then you're going to do some counting or some simple math. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to hum again. And I'm going to explain why we do all that after we do this. It's called a round. And then you switch sides. Got fired from my job. Got fired from my job. Below the eye, fired from my job. Below the nose, fired from my job. Above the chin, fired from my job. Collarbones, fired from my job. Under the arm, fired from my job. And then the karate chop, fired from my job. So ideally, you would have written down on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being it's really emotionally impactful, and 1 being it's really not a big deal, or 0 being it's I feel nothing, which you probably wouldn't be using this as an example if your unit of distress were a 0. And then you would tune into yourself after you do 1 round. That's called a round because you did the one side of the face, you do the middle part of the sandwich, and then you did the other side of the face. And you would see, do I feel better, worse, or the same? And you keep going, right? And sometimes, if it's not a 0, sometimes we call it a new aspect. A new aspect will come up where you'll have, let's say, a memory or a thought, right? And so this is why I really do recommend that you work with a certified clinician who's trained in clinical EFT. And I will have a link below where you can find certified clinicians in EFT. It's because there are a lot of nuances and things can come up and you might not know exactly what to do with it. But the reason that we are doing these weird things with our eyes and we're humming and counting is that we're accessing different parts of the brain by doing that. Your eye positioning accesses different parts of the brain. The humming and the counting accesses different parts of the brain where perhaps trauma could be stored. So that's what that's all about. If you have any questions about clinical EFT or how to do it, definitely drop a comment in the comment section and I'd be happy to answer any questions. And for all you sensitives out there, remember, when you understand your sensitivity, you too can claim it as your greatest asset.